So, tax season is about to officially kick off, and the IRS issues out an urgent warning to millions of Americans as tax season officially kicks off. And this could position you to not be audited, position you to get a larger refund, or position you to not have your refund postponed. And it's opportunity to get a larger refund this year due to some of the things that have been added to the tax code that you can benefit from, but more importantly, due to you having new knowledge. Because it's not that larger refunds are a new thing, it's that most of the time people didn't know that they could qualify for a larger refund or qualify for a lower tax bill if you're accustomed to owing. And this goes for those who feel like, well, I make too much, I always owe, or I never get a refund. Well, if you know better, then you do better, and you can position yourself to get more or pay less in taxes. What do I mean? See, many people don't realize that it's tax deductions that open up to the hundreds. Hundreds of tax deductions exist for those who have a home-based business. Fast forward to today, you can consider that a phone-based business or a business that you operate from the comforts of your home or from your phone or a side gig or anything you're doing to make side streams of income. Drop down below all of the ways that you personally use to make some side income. And I don't care if you're not making much money, the fact that you're doing it to make income, to pursue and make a profit, that positions you to get tons of tax deductions. And those tax deductions can lower your tax bill and or give you a larger refund. Many that I know people are doing right now is e-commerce, TikTok shop, social media posting so they can get paid through the social media platforms through content creation, gig work, whether you're making deliveries or things of that nature. All of those count as side businesses that you're doing to produce a profit. Well, yes, you make money from it, but the fact that you make money, it's a flip side to that coin. You also qualify for tax deductions. See, many people only want to focus on the generating of income, which is cool. I get it. However, did you know that there's more money that you can tap into by getting tax deductions that bring more money back into your household that can offset even your job income? So, quick example. Say you work a full-time job. Say at that full-time job you make $50,000. Say you had a side business. Say from that side business you made $10,000 for the year of 2025 for a total of $60,000. The $50,000 that you made from your job, of course, is taxable. Some of the taxes may have already come out on your check and you're trying to get a portion of that, on your refund. The $10,000, you didn't get taxed on it. However, it does come with tax deductions. In order for you to make that $10,000, you had to have a phone that was on because you probably use your phone in order to build it or use to grow their business. So that amount that you paid on your phone up to 100% is tax deductible. You probably had to have the internet, whatever your internet bill, up to 100% is tax deductible. You might have had to drive some places as it relates to making that $10,000 or spend some money on marketing or spend some money on travel, meals, things of that nature. Guess what? Portions of that can be tax deductible. So think about what you had to do in association with that business in order to position yourself for profits, and that amount can be tax deductible. Now, knowing that, you position yourself going forward to view everything as a potential tax deduction. What can I do that aligns with my business and my pursuit of profit that's ordinary and necessary for me to do in order to grow this business and position myself for more profits? And now you look at the money you spend, it's not just a spending thing. You're looking at it from a level of, oh, this is a tax deductible activity. This is an activity that can bring me more money on the back end when I file taxes the next year and the next year. And this is how you have to view it. Otherwise, you end up filing too soon and you leave money on the table. When you did all of the right things last year, you just didn't have all of the right data or documentation or do the backtracking to determine that the activities and the money that you already spent gave you the tax deduction, not your tax preparer waving a magic wand and, oh, my tax preparer the GOAT. They did this and did that. No, if they did this and did that and you don't know what they did, then they did you a disservice. And you can write that down. I really want you to understand the power in what you possess in your activities and money that you spent in the previous year as it relates to the side income, side business, side hustle, whatever you want to call it. It's in pursuit of a profit, which qualifies for a business and qualifies for business deductions. Even if you don't have a LLC or S Corp or none of that, this is just as a sole proprietor, you having a social security number or a tax ID number, you qualify if you have a side business that's in pursuit of producing a profit. Now, hopefully they put some money in your pocket. Now, let's get into these, the warnings, and then I want to give you some dates of when your refund is likely to come, depending on when you file. So let's get this out of the way. It said it's time to file taxes again. The official opening day for the filing tax season is, hours away. Depending on when you watch this video, it's probably already here. And this is what you got to understand. The IRS warned Americans in the news release that this year has several new tax law provisions that they must remain aware of to avoid any issues. And it's all connected to the One Big Beautiful Bill from the Trump administration. And the IRS noted that the bill could impact federal taxes, credits, and deductions for many. Now, keep in mind, when you're filing your taxes and you're lowering your tax liability, you may drop a tax bracket. You may qualify for more credits, and that may fatten your refund as well. So pay close attention to that, because sometimes it's just, you'll be surprised. You'll get lower and lower and get close, and you might be $35 away from qualifying for a credit, or putting yourself in a lower tax bracket that can cause a significant jump in your refund. So don't think that every dollar that you can try to write off legally, ethically, and morally doesn't play a part, because it does. Now, for the most part, it says that the IRS expects that the provisions, along with the online tools and resources at taxpayers' disposal before, during, and after their filing, will help them lower their tax bill and potentially increase refund amounts. So they're talking about these tools and how they can potentially help you increase your refund amount. But what I told you in the first 5 minutes can definitely lower your tax bill and increase refund amounts, with or without these new tools or this new bill. So that's why you got to take what I'm saying and take heed to what I'm saying and really listen. Replay it if you need to, so you can really understand, oh, this is what he's saying. And then get with your tax specialist, your tax professional. And if they don't understand these, then you got to get rid of them. You got to get somebody who does understand them, and not only understands it, they also use them. If they're not using the tax code, then they can't truly help you. Because if a person truly understands the tax code, they would use them. That I can guarantee. So make sure you understand that they understand. And if they don't understand, no love lost. You just find somebody who does understand. So reaping in the refund. So President Donald Trump and other federal officials have been vocal in the recent months about what they expect to be historically large tax refund amounts worth upwards of $20,000 for some, especially those who got tax deduction, not just the big, beautiful bill. But we're going to see the biggest refund cycle ever in history in America, is what they're saying. And the commissioner basically also emphasized in the release that the agency has been working hard to ensure Americans get the most out of their tax filing. Trump is committed to the taxpayers of this country and improving upon successful tax filing season this year, is what they're saying as well. But prior to the bill, basically, which delivered working families tax cuts, the Treasury and IRS were diligently preparing to update forms and processes for the benefit of the hardworking Americans. And basically, they're saying they're confident in the ability to deliver results and drive growth in this area. Now, I don't know why I jumped back, but let's get on track. So basically, it's saying, to help Americans prepare for the for the new tax season, consider these 12 different actions. They included signing up for the IRS individual online account. This can give you an inside view of your own situation and, your tax filing. So having that account can be of benefit, and it provides crucial information like balances due, payments made, schedule, or other tax records. Taxpayers should also consider a new Schedule 1A, a new feature to help claim the recently enacted Big Beautiful Bill tax deductions, of which there are several. Some standouts are no taxes on tips, no tax on overtime, no tax on car loan interest, or enhanced senior deductions worth as much as $6,000. They also recommended that taxpayers enroll in the new Trump accounts that offer $1,000 invested for select children. And the select children is typically those who are born in 2025 and beyond, and open up a bank account for direct deposits to get tax refunds quickly. So these are some things that they're having people to consider. In addition to that, tax forms 1099-K, 1099-DA should be reviewed as well to avoid any problems with reporting payments received from third-party or online marketplaces and digital asset proceeds from broker transactions. For those of you who deal in cryptocurrency, get familiar with those forms. Look them up. Ask your tax pro, how you can best incorporate those forms, so that way you don't leave that on the table as well. And then Americans are also advised to take advantage of the Where's My Refund tool. Many of you know about this. This is where you can search on the IRS website to locate where your refund is. And I'm going to give you some dates here shortly. So let me show you the dates of when you can expect. It's just an estimate when you can expect for your refund to come, depending on whatever date your refund was accepted. And other IRS advice included remaining aware of potential tax scams and fraud, which is a lot of. So pay attention to, anything that sounds scammy and fraudy. That's why I want to put you in a position of power and understanding what did you do last year that could potentially help you this year in your expenses as it relates to your side business, side gig, side hustle, anything you did outside of your main primary income to make money, especially if you work a job. And the agency also reminded Americans that they can use the IRS free file, filable forms, milli tax if they're a military member or IRS certified, basically. So it's also important to avoid the e-file error that can hold up to 21-day tax refund considerably. So make sure, when you submit, you have everything intact. And most softwares and tools position you to make sure that you are filing things and there are no errors. But basically, you want to make sure you have all of your ducks in a row and check all of the boxes and do your homework. Don't just rush to file when you may have did things in January, February, March, all through the year that could position you to get tax deductions. So let's get into these dates of when you can likely expect your refund based on when you file. So here are the estimated 2026 IRS income tax return charts. If you filed, on the left is basically if the IRS accepts an e-file return by the date on the left, then the direct deposit refund may be received as early as 10 business days after the e-file accepted. The IRS says paper checks will no longer be issued for tax refunds. So if you filed on the 26th and you said, day one, I'm filing, then you may expect yours on the 6th. If you file on the 2nd of February, then February 13th. Filed on the 9th, February 20th, and so on. So I'll just let you screenshot it because I don't want to read each one by one, but you can see these dates. So if you're planning to file by these dates, then you can expect it on the date shown on the other side. And then it has these stars. Basically, anything that has the double asterisk returns with EITC or CTC may have refund delayed until March to verify credits. So it's something called the PATH Act, which I do the video on as well. But basically, if you're getting a credit, then you may not be able to get your refund until really mid-February is when it starts or later. But it just, they want to make sure that you truly qualify for the credit before they actually issue out payment for the credit. So these are the dates. And if you end up filing an extension or filing late, then here are the dates for that as well. So take a screenshot so you can understand this, but more importantly, take a look back at your previous year, figure out if it ties into or how you can, put it in a position to tie into things you may have did to make money on the side of your job if you work a job, and make sure your tax professional understands tax deductions. And if they don't, find someone who does. Mr. Smith signing out. Salute.